All right. This is the Roger Sherman Building Committee meeting, Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. It is 7:02 p.m. This is Eric Lang, the chairman, and I will hereby call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is an update from myself on the project, and starting with the certificate of occupancy, which we finally received from the town last week, I think on Monday. Is that right, Mark? It's like right before.
Yeah, so it was either Monday or the day of the Board of Ed meeting.
Right. So that was, I was kind of waiting. I wanted that in hand should it, come up, which it didn't, but at least, it signifies, the completion of the project and that, it is officially able to be occupied. And I did present to the Board of Ed last Tuesday night, May 25th, and they had voted to accept the project as complete. And had really not a whole lot to say other than they're excited to see the project and in particular the lockers. I recommend they go on a nice hot day so they could feel the AC as well. But it was rather uneventful, so it was good. And next item is an update on the Board of Selectmen. So I don't know if Sal is on, but Mark, I know he had forwarded me a list, or actually I guess a document that was prepared a while back on just guidelines for building committees, and there was kind of a 10-point list of things that we needed to complete before officially requesting disbandment from the Board of Selectmen, all of which I think we have now satisfied with the acceptance of the project by the Board of Ed, with the sole exception. It states here that we should review the final status of state reimbursements. So I will just ask you at this time to state that status for the record and for the committee.
We are getting the first and only reimbursement into the OSCGNR probably later this week or early part of next week, so we can get it in front of the Board of Ed and get them to get the minutes from that, and that way he has closure on his end for the final reimbursement and final payment. So it'll be done this month.
So when you say it will be done,
the reimbursement will be applied for this month.
Right. Got it.
How long it takes the state to reimburse the town of Fairfield? That's a good question.
Got it. Okay. Okay, great. So, it is my understanding then, with that the committee does not need to remain intact as a body while that process is ongoing. I think mainly for the reason you stated that it could be a lengthy process, at least to receive that reimbursement. So So, I think, as Meredith had stated in her email, that this will likely be our last or potentially our second to last meeting for the committee. So,
this is Jeff. I just had a question. What is the total amount that we are getting reimbursed in the end?
It'll be, what is it? It is 26% of the paid to date, and then you take your ineligibles into account. So paid to date minus your ineligibles, and then 25% of that. So you're probably looking at $500,000.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's Sal's responsibility to secure those funds, is it not?
Yes, but he uses our data, and we help him out with applying for the reimbursement.
Okay, so you will continue to provide data and such as he needs it.
Yes. Yes.
And that's included in your bid items? These are not extras, or what?
There are, OSCGNR is ad service for us.
Say it again. I missed it. Sorry.
The OSCGNR work is an ad service for Colliers.
So we're going to be paying more money on this contract then.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
So how do we close out a project then if we have to pay more money?
Yeah, that's a good point. So, Gerald, I believe you're on, assuming that we are going to be accruing additional expenses from Colliers through the OSCGNR process, which seems like would probably just be through the end of this month. That's at least one, invoice that we as a committee would need to approve. So to Rich's point, we would likely need to remain intact, I guess, until there's no more invoicing at this point. No more.
This is Gerald Foley. So, what happens is typically the other committees, they basically establish an executive group that would review the final invoices.
Okay.
So as the invoices come up, we would submit them to the executive group, and then they would approve them. And to give you as a benchmark, Holland Hill, that finished about a year ago, and that committee, there's still open issues with that. So I don't think they've fully completed. So sometimes it can linger, depending on the project.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. So it seems to me it's pretty important. And what type of money are we talking? Mark, how much? What's your estimate on what these additional funding are going to cost?
You're talking probably less than $2,500.
Okay.
That's certainly decidable by the executive committee. We've given them leeway in other areas for more than that amount.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think we already are authorized to approve invoices. I think it's either 5,000 or 10,000 max. So with that, I think we already have that authorization, and we can address those as they come in and approve them for Gerald, and then once we receive confirmation that there are no additional anticipated or open invoices, then I can reach out to the Board of Selectmen. Obviously I'll notify the committee first, but reach out to the Board of Selectmen for this official disbandment. Okay. Any additional questions for Mark?
Well, I just make the comment that it looks like we really can't close out the committee at this point. I'd still keep it open, but the unforeseen. If there happens to all of a sudden become an environmental problem or something, God forbid, it's hard to resurrect the committee and react, especially in a school situation having closed because of COVID. We want to be as astute as we can about moving the education process, and I'm sure we will. The whole committee agrees on that.
I'd like to comment as well. I stand with Rich on this. We've had such a disjointed bunch of sessions at the end here related to COVID. So I am perfectly willing myself to dedicate, as long as it takes to really see this completion through as a committee member.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I'm in agreement that, we should definitely remain intact as a body for, at least through the end of the month, and we get our OSCGR application in and probably even, approved, so that, per Rich's comment, that there are, no surprises in that process. I could generate additional costs to the project. And I think once we get a certain level of comfort or our approval or notification from OSCGNR that our application is complete and reimbursement is imminent, then maybe we revisit disbandment at that time. Does anyone have any objections to that approach?
I just said, I was curious if this happened asked before, in the any financial issues were handled by an executive committee, but if things were to come up, was there sort of an emergency regathering, to a call, like a special meeting? I'm assuming this has potentially happened before on other building committees.
Gerald?
Yeah, so for the Holland Hill, for example, so what they did, I don't think they disbanded, but they just kept the emergent or the executive group together. So to Eric's point, I think if you wrote it out till the end of the month, we can get Sal's input in terms of when he thinks he'll be making the final submission to OSCGR, and then from there you guys could play it by ear. But I think the holdup on the Holland Hill project was it wasn't accepted by the Board of Education, whereas your project has been accepted. So it's a little different.
Got it.
But yeah, Eric.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Eric, those acceptance that you have gotten, we really do want to hopefully honor those. So I think, if the executive committee is acceptable with that, then it certainly can be the way to go, because we don't want to lose those acceptance right now, right?
Yeah, and I don't see a risk of that, because these. Okay. My understanding of the process is that we are not able to submit to OSCGNR until we get the Board of Ed's acceptance. So, this seems to be the natural sequence of events at the closeout here. And I can even reach out to the First Selectwoman's office, for guidance on this, because they may very well want us to remain intact until, at least until we receive approval of our OSCGR package as well. So,
I was going to maybe bring this up in new business, but as long as you have brought it up, Eric, do you know as far and Gerald as well, what the waterfall is on the next project for Roger Sherman?
Yeah, this is Gerald. No, I don't know. That would have been a Sal question, but yeah, I don't know that one. Sorry.
And that was like leading up to could, and will or would the current committee move automatically into the next phase? Again, I was going to bring this up at new business. Sorry. So I know right now that Gerald, if I'm correct me, the roof on Roger Sherman, what's the status?
Say that again, the roof on Roger Sherman? I know it's on the list, but I don't remember how many years on. I don't think it's in the next 5 years.
Oh, so they kicked it out then. Okay. Because it was supposed to be done this year. Okay. I'm just thinking of continuation of established committee and getting that out of the way if a number of members wanted to continue to serve. So if the next phase of Roger Sherman is 5 years out, ways out, well, so be it. I guess, just dissolve the committee when we get this other business resolved about what's left with Colliers or whatever, supervising it and so forth.
All right.
That's
Rich,
all.
I'm looking at the water.
Pardon me?
Rich, I'm looking at the waterfall right now.
Yeah.
It's targeted for 22-23, the next phase.
Okay. So it would seem that the current committee should just be dissolved at the time that all matters are resolved, containing your portion of it, your recommendations, and so on and so forth. Correct? Or Eric, I guess that's my points.
Yeah. No, it's a good question, and I think given the and I can follow up with Sal on it as well. But I think given what Mark just said, it probably makes sense. At this point, if it's going to be over a year away for the next phase, that the committee be disbanded and then reformed at that time.
Yeah, the only reason is that I know the difficulty in getting a committee together with the town. It's been quite hard, and people don't want to volunteer anymore, but for whatever reason. And we're lucky to have a good group of volunteers that have the creds too. Also, that's important as far as I'm concerned. We have a really credible committee on this one, yeah, and that doesn't happen all the time. End of conversation on my part. Sorry.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think it is, it's been, great experience for me working with all of you, and obviously each member brings a lot to the committee, and not only in their expertise in their professional lives, but also past experiences with building committees and school projects and so on and so forth. So I agree. It has been a great group and a great experience working with all of you. So I would certainly be interested in doing it again on another committee. But I think for now, let's see. Like I said, I'll follow up with Sal and kind of brainstorm with him, get his thoughts, and then we'll go from there. So I guess moving on to the next item on the agenda, Meredith has on here the names and officers of committee at closure of this project. So just listing them out. So Eric Lang as chairman, Rich Special as vice chairman. Vice chairman. Meredith McCormick as secretary. And then members Patrice Klein, Jenna Trozier, and Brian Pepini. I think that is it. So that will go into the record. And with that, I don't have any further updates. So moving on to the next item on the agenda is to consider and act upon the minutes from the regular meeting of March 16th, 2001. So I will make a motion to approve those minutes. Do I have a second?
It's Jenna. I'll second.
Thank you, Jenna. Any discussion from the committee? Not hearing any. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye?
Aye.
All right. All opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And the next item is the plaque.
Yep. That's
Patrice?
me. This is Patrice. I just want to apologize. First off, there was, as I said, a big disconnect with Gerald and I in timing. But I did get over to Roger Sherman School and met with Dr. Banner and some of the maintenance personnel there, located the one plaque that I saw in the school, which was a Roger Sherman School Edition Building Committee plaque from 1979. So I discussed with Dr. Banner, the content of our plaque and trying to propose a similarity between the two plaques. Now, the plaque from 1979, and I apologize for this because I have all the hard copies sitting in front of me, and I put it all together in a file, which I locked somehow at my HP at my office and couldn't transfer it into my Apple, which I'm working on now. But I will get it unlocked and forward it to Eric and to Gerald. Gerald, I had originally sent it through my phone, but I don't think he has text capacity on his phone. That's where I think it got lost, Gerald. I apologize. But anyway, so the plaque is at the school currently is 18 3/4 inches high by 18 inches wide. It contains 2 lists of 7 names on each of people on the committee. So my thought with Dr. Banner was that if we doubled the width of the plaque, with the width of the plaque being 18 inches, so it's 18 3/4 height 18 wide. If we did 36 wide, we could easily accommodate our Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 names in a letter size that is readable, and we can identify everybody as they want to be identified, as we previously discussed at the last meeting, and again, as I can forward to the executive committee for final approval. And you see if in the minutes of the last meeting, the only other thing, we had decided based on the complications of the plaque, of the committees changing and going, and the staff changing over the decade of which we served, that it was just too costly to identify everybody, and that the reality of the plaque is the hope that seeing the names and that people have volunteered will increase volunteerism on these boards in the future, which Rich ideally brought up, in the beginning of this meeting, that it's difficult to get people to volunteer. And I think that the reason why is because, it's not promoted or identified well. And Dr. Banner agreed. And I have also in this package a picture of where he has expressed he felt that it would be better observed by the general populace of parents and visitors to the school. Right now, this one plaque takes up, you go into there's a double door system into the school, main doors into a lobby, open into the main school. And it's in that little sort of, I call it the mud room at the school, tucked off to the side. Nobody even looks there. But if you moved it, we discussed, into the all-purpose room, which has concerts and bake sales and, parents visiting for lunch. And it's always the place where people commune in large numbers of people who are parents or people, who would get a really good look at that and say, wow, these people all donated their time, and what's this about? How do I get involved in something like that? So we found a nice place, and as I said, I do have a photograph of where Dr. Banner thought it would go. He would move both plaques to that area, and even if we doubled the size of ours in width to accommodate what we have, and I have asking Gerald for two price quotes, one with a, hang on, where did it go? One with the width being doubled, and one with it only adding, so I have one for 18 3/4 by 27 and a price for 18 3/4 by 36. Based on my artistic talent, that's what I'm saying would fit our committee members in. And we still have room at the bottom for either a conclusion statement, which we talked about at the last meeting, and which Rich thought might, if we eliminated that, would that, be, would that save us money? I don't think that we need to eliminate that. I think we just really need to, come up with what that is. I mean, as it stands now, it's in the minutes of the last meeting. After a decade of service to this project, we give you on this day in January 2021 the newly enhanced and improved Roger Sherman Elementary School. It's pretty succinct, So anyway, as I said, the package is all here. I will get it to Rich and Meredith and Eric pronto, and Gerald, so that they can decide on the final vote. And Gerald has informed me that if I get to them tomorrow or the next day, it's about a week turnover, right, Gerald, for the price?
That's correct, about a week.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, you will have it. That's where it stands, folks.
All right. All right, so we'll be on the lookout for that package. And then, I guess we can act on that on one of our next meetings once we have a little bit more information. All right. Any questions from the committee for Patrice on the plaque? All right. Any old business any committee members would like to raise? All right, not hearing any new business. All right. All right. Well, with that, I will make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I will second that motion.
Second.
All right. Thank you, Patrice. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right. Thank you all. And I'll be in touch for the next one,
Eric,
or at least for closing it out.
Eric, can you just send me an email? Meredith was supposed to give me everybody's email and she didn't.
Sure. Yep. I can send that to you.
You have mine, right?
I do. Yep.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you. I just want to make sure it gets to the right people.
Eric, will the next meeting be sorry to interrupt. Sorry. Eric, will the next meeting be a regular scheduled meeting, or is it going to be a special meeting, or you don't know at this point?
I mean, at this point, we still have the regular meetings, I think, on the town calendar, for twice a month. So I think we'll continue to do like what we've been doing recently, where we just cancel the meetings and
cancel as the right. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And when we do need to reconvene, we'll just do it on a Tuesday night. One of those.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night.